What do we do month 1 and 2? So we've got 30 days behind us and we're heading into month 2 of the campaign. So if we consider our first month, the data gathering phase. So essentially, you might argue that your first month's priority is to literally get your ad to the top of the page for the lowest CPC possible. So your first month, you need to do a performance review. So essentially a progression review. Were you spending what you expected to spend? And were your projections close or miles off? So essentially, are you hitting your KPIs? Are you getting the number of conversions or at that cost that you hoped to achieve, or the ROAS that you were aiming for? So how close, how far? And then we're reacting to that. So you need to get feedback from the client or the business. And what I mean by that is, if you're a lead gen, it's feedback on the quality of the leads that are coming in. Are the phone calls useful? Are the forms useful? Or is there a lot of tire kickers, as we say? And same goes for sales performance. Are basket sizes where they need to be versus other channels? Is customer return rate decent? So on and so forth. It's a bit early for e-commerce to be discussing lifetime value typically after a month, but it's still good to get a feel of where you are. So you're essentially taking the temperature of your client or of the business to see what's working, what needs a bit of finessing. So you need to then outline the next steps. So it's not just, okay, we're going to go and work on the Google Ads account, we're just going to go and follow our checklists for another month. At this stage, you need to react a bit to what you're seeing. And one of the big areas, again, to keep a focus on, a good eye on, is your search relevancy. So you should consider for month 2 a heightened focus on what the audience has been searching for and how it relates to the product or service that you or your client provide. So this process helps you identify new keyword trends and ad ideas that you can also apply to the landing page to make sure your language on the landing page is appropriate. So you're looking at search intent in more detail because you have more data now. So what are people looking for? Are they mostly looking for a quote or a price or cheap? Are they just looking for information, or are they looking for a competitor? So you're looking at this information to steer how you adapt the account. You might find for both lead gen and e-commerce, when people use the term cheap in their search terms, that they don't actually convert as well. Cheaps, it can be an identifier of people who are a bit cheap and are, yes, less comfortable spending their money, shall we say. So you might actually work away from that, and you don't want to mention cheap in your adverts. You don't want cheap in your keywords, and so on. So you need to get these answers, and you need to add new keywords or strip out keywords that are attracting lower quality conversions or a lower conversion rate, and essentially identifying searches that don't align with the goal and make sure that you don't show up for them again. So search term management, it's an ongoing exercise. We all know that. Negatives, search terms, negatives, and positive keywords, of course. But also be a bit more proactive. So as I said before, don't just go through the motions of your optimizations or using a checklist like mine. You can think a little bit further ahead. So this is where you can start testing some ideas, particularly if you've got conversions coming in, because that's a positive sign. So are you now in a position where you can test a landing page variant or a tweak to the offer that you might be able to split test, for example? And then for e-commerce, do you need to make some adjustments because of competitors? Are you, in particular, your pricing? Because price is part of your offer. Is your pricing competitive? Is this a point in time where you can test your pricing? And some people are scared of lowering prices just to be competitive, and I understand that. And sometimes it doesn't look good just to drop your prices. So instead, capture an email, give a discount code. So at least you can retain your prices where they are, but give people a checkout discount, and also capturing emails so you can do follow-ups and so on, and perhaps offer additional value beyond the initial purchase. An example of this, a client of ours offered a Amazon Prime style free delivery where you'd spend a small amount of money and you'd get free shipping for the entire year. And this was a value add. So after your first purchase, they pinged out an email, and about 1 in 5 customers took them up on this sort of prime offer and it gave them a significant bump in revenue. And most customers put an additional order in over the year. So net, it was a positive result. You have to think about these value adds beyond the account. So not just going through the motions of doing Google Ads, but yes, in the first 2 to 3 months, it is heavily biased towards Google Ads work, and then hypothesizing what you can do beyond to improve performance that isn't where you need it to be or where you expected it to be. A conversion rate a bit low, for example, and you need to work on improving that. So again, looks very similar to month 1 in that your end of the month, you're looking at a performance review. So how close are you to your KPIs? Is budget where it needs to be? Confirming budget for the next month ahead, of course. And again, getting feedback on the quality of those leads or the sales performance if it's e-commerce. So you're, again, taking a temperature check at the end of each month or in the middle of the month just to feel how things are going. Because you can guarantee when things are going good, you won't hear anything, but if things are going bad, that's when you need to be on top of it. And constantly outline the next steps. So come prepared. Identify a problem. Present a solution. The solution doesn't have to work because at this stage you don't know if your solution will work, but be proactive with it and actually present something that can tackle that problem that you've encountered in the performance metrics.